So I accidentally hit my stop recording button. So we got the key after we figured out that the doctor was Arsene Lupin. So I went up the wrong staircase and I'm trying to get to the weapons room right now because it's the last place I need to go, I think, before I beat the game, possibly. So you already see me failed it. This game has multiple endings, which really surprised me. Okay.
This liquid has a strong smell, certainly a petrol derivative to lubricate or clean metal. There isn't much left, just enough to moisten a rag. This dish is empty, but might work. Perhaps I'd be able to find something useful in this case, but... It's the door of the Queen's Jewel House, and it is quite solid. Was that the sound of a saw from behind the door? Lupin could be finished in his work any moment. I must make haste. It's the door of the Queen's Jewel... If I am to believe the tag on... Look, this warder must have lost this key in falling. What could it be for?
I know exactly what it's for.
This may prove to be useful. This may prove to be useful.
What do I need these for?
It's the door of the Queen's Jewel House. It's the door of the Queen's Jewel. It's the door of the Queen's...
Wait.
It's the door of the Queen's Jewel House.
How do I make it past this? Helmet stand.
This helmet stand is quite singular. I found it. I must burn.
Small pieces of wood.
Small, dry pieces of wood.
We got dormitory right now. Let's go here. There's a lampshade here, right?
This lamp has a funny shape.
Let me go. Map storeroom.
Get me out of here. Get me out of...
Oh, use the file.
The lock of the grill has been changed, and I can... The lock of the grill has been changed, and I can no longer open it.
Is he in the... I mean... Where's Fatty's key? Where's Fatty's key? Fatty McFattyson, where? Okay. Oh, so I just... There we
Take
go.
this file, it's all that I could find. Is there any way to enter the jewel house without a key?
No, not without a cannon at least.
In that case, I'll have to find one.
You are kidding, I'm sure.
I would not trifle with such a serious matter as this.
The munitions are found in the armory at the top of the staircase heading to the White Tower, the central tower. Apart from the one on my keychain, the other key is found in one of the service buildings, and it will be far too complicated to tell you how to locate it.
Pray, release yourself as quickly as possible. Go find the key and open the door of the armory for me. I will join you there. Is that your scarf over there? Can you please pass it to me?
My daughter just finished knitting it.
She should start knitting another, because before entering the jewel house, I must block Lupin's retreat.
Okay. Now time for me to... I'm confusing. Okay. Okay. There's money. Okay. I got it.
Now I must find some fuel for my hot air balloons.
Okay.
I must release my hot air balloons in
Let me go. Item map. Right here. Then get ready to go over to the other place. Okay. putting freaking F1 instead of the backslash right here.
I must burn the rope that Lupin strung between the jewel house and the exterior. Otherwise, he will escape that way.
Yeah.
I will ignite my balloons as soon as I...
Okay, cool. Okay. That should melt.
The rope must have been somewhat damaged to no longer be able to support a heavy load. Let's see if Smith has been able to get out and find the key to the arsenal.
Now where am I going? Do I go to the, Okay, he's got out now.
I've been working as quickly as I could, but my old arms have been shaking like leaves with the effort.
Okay.
While I'm taking care of the robber, we'll need to get to the base of Big Ben in order to find one of the officers thereabouts, because I don't think you'll find another in the whole of London.
But what are they doing there?
Okay. Meanwhile, okay, this is a different story, right? This is a totally different story.
Enough already! Enough! Prime Minister,
Where is he then, this Lupin? Does he think I have nothing better to do?
I've just done my round. You wouldn't believe, but there's a mob of journalists down there.
Well, that takes the biscuit.
It's not surprising. Half the force has been kicking their heels in front of Big Ben for the past 8 hours. It couldn't go unnoticed forever.
journalists, a mob, yes, but of course.
What now, Doctor?
Inspector, check the identities of the journalists. Lupin has previously disguised as a journalist, and I am sure it was he who alerted them in order to create a diversion and slip in.
Well played, Doctor. I'm on it. At last, some action.
Lupin has previously disguised himself as a journalist, did you say? When was this, then, Doctor?
Well,
Okay. Cannonballs, 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 cannonballs.
Curious, one of these gloves... This may prove to be useful. This thick cover could support a very...
Ah.
These cannonballs have a diameter of 2... These cannonballs are very heavy. I can...
Okay, map. Go back to the dormitory.
Certainly a gift for a child. Roller skates. Certainly a gift for a child. Roller skates.
Which is it? This game? Yeah. In the back. Back one. Yeah. I need to get more stuff. Do I have one? So can I have? Two. And gun.
A small barrel of powder. These cannonballs are very heavy.
Only. Oh.
This may prove to be useful.
Oh, now go back to the...
The interior diameter of this... This cannon is heavy, but I will... Now I can push it to the door of the jewel house. The stairs are preventing me from getting past. How can I mount them with my artillery?
Yeah.
The stairs are preventing me from getting past. How can I mount them with my artillery? There, the door is dismantled. Now I must find the appropriate location where I should place it. There, the door is dismantled. Now I must find the appropriate Elementary.
Okay. Now guess what I'm gonna do? Push it up.
There, now I am in firing position, and there's nothing...
Okay.
There, now I am in... I need something. There, now I am in... I need something. There, now I am in... I need something.
Okay. Powder back. Powder. A powder bag. Powder bag. Where would I find a powder bag? That is the question. Powder bag.
This served to store the exact quantity.
Okay.
I must decant the proper amount of powder into this receptacle and pour it into the cannon.
Oh, frick. What?
I must decant the proper amount.
Okay.
I must have made a mistake. Time to think. I must decant the proper amount of powder.
Okay. Math. Math is fun. Okay, let's do this. Then that. Then that. Then that.
Elementary.
Okay.
Elementary. Elementary.
I can't say cannon, that's how weird it is. Now I can see the cannon. Well, actually, we're not going to go out of here. Hi guys.
If I were you, Lupin, I wouldn't take that path. As you can surmise by the plumes of smoke emanating from the rope originating from this window, it, let's say, suffered by my hand, and there's no chance that it'll support your weight nor the items that I imagine you to be carrying.
You impress me, Mr. Holmes. You see, I concocted this plan with such thoroughness and, I'm sure you'll agree, a fair amount of genius, such that I was saddened that none would see it as I brought it to fruition. And yet, there you were from the first. A bit too close for comfort, wasn't it? And if you are here, it's because you must have searched, and most certainly found all of the parts of the puzzle, down to the smallest detail. And I can't but congratulate you on your performance. I am a gentleman, Mr. Holmes. And even if I didn't always show good sportsmanship during this adventure, my sense of honor obliges me to acknowledge your victory tonight. As someone who never knew defeat before meeting you, I would like to express my admiration and how honored I am that you not only played this game with me, but won also.
You should, Monsieur Lupin, understand that I share your admiration and know that if you're giving me the honor of the victory tonight, it was yours the last 4 times.
Your intelligence has no equal apart from your sense of chivalry, Mr. Holmes. You know as well as I do, those were but a few minor obstructions, and whoever wins the final battle takes the war.
Despite everything, our camp suffered some losses, the gravity of which could have been fatal if they had been made public. No one, myself included, would have come out of a Pyrrhic victory unscathed.
I betrayed myself by doing anything that could have harmed your reputation. I am duty-bound to you, Mr. Holmes, and I will accept your conditions, even if they dishonor me, as long as they don't dishonor my country.
You managed, thanks to your remarkable intelligence, to deny me any margin of maneuverability to decide in advance should we find ourselves in the situation in which we are. It was a chess match, and there is nothing remaining on the table but the 2 kings. This is a classic stalemate, wouldn't you agree?
You will find at this address a master's painting, a great rock, and a few birds. As for what Her Majesty wished for me, I had no choice but to give it to her at that very instant. Once again, I am at a loss for words to express the pleasure that I took from this adventure with you. Even if it costs me, I promise, on my honor, that I will never publicize the account of what took place.
We shall not meet again, my friend, but know that during the past few days, your presence in our soil did as much honor to your country as ours. Safe journey, Monsieur Lupin.
What? You'll let him leave like that?
What choice did I have, Watson? Look at the whole picture. Lupin's real intent was to steal the crown jewels. The goal of all the other thefts was to provide a sort of insurance in the case of failure, and, above all, to ensure the services of a plethora of accomplices. Us.
Us? Accomplices? I admit that I was fooled once, but I didn't steal anything.
From the moment we read Lupin's first letter, we became his accomplices. In fact, by having us play his game, Lupin was conditioning us. After the first theft, he left clues leading us to the second, from the second to the third. So well that as the second to last theft, we were convinced that Lupin's final target would be Big Ben. Lupin knew that the authorities, headed by the Prime Minister himself, would align themselves with the only person who could sort out Lupin's schemes as they happened: myself. Therefore, in controlling me, he was controlling all of London's police force, and he nearly succeeded.
Then why not simply steal the jewels to begin with? Why this whole masquerade?
I've just explained it, Watson. In order to steal the crown jewels, Lupin had to accomplish certain preliminaries. In the first place, he had to be assured that the garrison would be only minimally guarded on the night of the theft. Therefore, he started using a disguise, of course, by getting rid of the garrison's usual doctor, by giving him a free trip to the continent. He also befriended the cook under another identity, while the cook was out on the town. Thus, he was able to suggest a specific recipe for a specific date, the eve of the jewel theft. Then he went to nab the ravens. The effects of this theft permitted him to first create an inauspicious event that forced a reduction in the size of the garrison so that the news wouldn't spread. Second, to have access to the storeroom in order to poison the tomatoes that were going to be used in the recipe that he gave to the cook. Third, to pose as Paul Cernin, that doctor who would be called in the case of emergency. Fourth, given that a theft had already taken place at the Tower of London, we would have had to have bats in the belfry to think that there would be another. Lupin also needed to get the police out of the area, which happened as I already explained.
I understand, but what of the other thefts?
A part of the process of conditioning, they caused us to put little weight on the theft in the Tower of London. If that had been the only prelude, we would have taken more time to ponder the clues and find Lupin's true intentions. Yet this time he didn't leave it up to us, and so, like I told you, these thefts were his insurance. Lupin had beaten us 4 times on the battlefield of English honour, such as he had suggested to us in his letter. Our pride in not bringing our defeats public was our sin, and it made us prisoners of his game. If he had proven beaten, he could have profited from the restitution of the objects, the price of his silence regarding our failures, and the true value of our police. A discreet release was a small price to pay with regards to an affront of international scope. Do not forget that the Queen herself is implicated.
Indeed. It is, moreover, a matter of conscience for me. When I write this adventure, I do not think I...
But there's no question, Watson. You cannot write about it. You promised before God that you wouldn't.
But, Holmes...
Your word is your bond. In any case, you wouldn't want to relate the ignoble theft that you committed, that of my Order of the Legion of Honor.
Holmes, you know that.
It's in the past, Watson, it's in the past. Incidentally, a young woman came by to return it a few moments ago. She wanted to deliver it to you directly. She seemed to know you well. A young woman who can be found at the Golden Lion, am I right? She doesn't seem like your usual client, unless, of course, you were the client in this case. What do you say, Watson?
Thank you for watching Sherlock Holmes Nemesis, and I'll see you for the next Sherlock Holmes game. Sherlock Holmes versus Jack the Ripper. See you, my ghost.